This is CJ Como on the Peace to Success Chapter 3, which is going to be about the plan. The plan is very simple. What exactly are you going to be doing? What exactly is the plan that you're going to be embarking upon? Many entrepreneurs and even seasoned executives will write a business plan, which of course is pretty standard. But the problem is, what you're writing in a business plan is you're trying to forecast the future. Now, trying to forecast the future, unless you are a psychic, is a little bit complicated because variables and circumstances happen personally and professionally that could dramatically change your plans. For example, if you write a business plan and you want to launch a product or service, you're going to find that potentially the product or service that you're entering into could either been having replicated, or there are competitors involved in your space that may have a better product or better service. So then what do? You put all this infrastructure together, you put all this money together, you put your team together, and now you're going to have to pivot. These are parts of the reasons why your plans need to have always multiple options on how you adjust. Kind of like life. We all experience setbacks in life. We all have adversities that pop up. We have tragedies. We have a loss of jobs. We have all sorts of things that can happen personally. Naturally, those personal setbacks can affect you professionally. Imagine putting a business together where you're launching something and you have a major professional setback. Let's say you have litigation. Let's say you have a class action suit. Let's say someone claims that your products don't do what they do, or God forbid your products actually do something worse. So then what do? Do you shut the business down? Do you just roll up the carpet and say, well, we're going to cause pause? These are the types of things that entrepreneurs, both new and for seasoned entrepreneurs, have got to understand is when situations come up and you have massive adversity that comes in front of you, you've got to make a decision. At what point in time do you say, enough? They say quitting is not an option. Quitting is an option. You must look at all the variables. The reason being is sometimes quitting and taking a lesser loss than staying in the game for a much longer period of time is actually a smarter move. The backup plans are, what do you do in those situations where you are ambushed or the products fail? There are companies that launch products into space and they blow up. A very famous entrepreneur has taken a company public that he did 3 tries, and he said on the 4th try, if it didn't work, he was going to roll it up. That's it. He wasn't going to spend any more money. He was done. The 4th time was a charm. It worked. And of course, everybody knows the story of Elon Musk and SpaceX, the largest IPO in Wall Street history coming up. These types of things are important to understand because your plans must always have multiple options on what do you do if they don't go the way that you had written it. Because a plan is only as good as the day that you write it. Now what happens down the road is things change. So you must be willing to change with your plan, just like if you're traveling across the country and you have a roadmap of what you want to do or how you want to get to the destination. If something happens and you've got to make detours, you've got to go far to the right or far to the left, those types of detours are very similar to business. Sometimes you think you're on course, but you got to make massive changes. You might have to change your pricing structure, your packaging structure, your product composition. You might have to change your services. Take any industry sector. Everybody's fighting for market share, and most people are always cutting each other's throats on pricing. So if you fall into that trap of fighting to zero, which is what it's called, where if their products or services are at X and you go to Y, then they go to Z, then everybody's just fighting for nothing, because you can't continue to fight price if you're not going to be providing service and quality. So a plan has to always pivot. Also, a lot of entrepreneurs, when they write a business plan, forget about the plan because after it's been written and they launch, they don't go back to it and make refinements to the plan. That's a danger, because what's the purpose of all that effort towards the plan if you can't monitor it, gauge it, and see the milestones? If you're making mistakes, you need to change direction and possibly change your plan. Seasoned entrepreneurs, same thing. Company appears to be headed in the right direction, things happen, now what do? You can't just walk away from the problem. If the enterprise is large enough, you got to decide, do we sell it? Do we merge? Do we move it to a different direction? Great companies have started off in a completely different path, and now they're completely different than what their original business plans were. History teaches us that if you don't become creative and if you don't become aware of your opportunities and roadblocks, then you will unfortunately face what many companies don't ever want to face, the adversity of failure. Be alert, have a plan B, have a plan C, but always look for options on how to move forward, avoiding pitfalls. And when the problems in your plan come up, you must have an alternative backup. You must be prepared to go with something else that makes more sense. You can call time out. You don't necessarily have to shut down, but you must be prepared for the unexpected, because the unexpected will happen. Mike Tyson used to say, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. That's like business. We all have a plan, but we get punched in the face, we better come up with an alternate plan. Good luck.